Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I just wrapped up a video about a week or so ago about the affiliated baseball teams that I have seen in person. I've seen about 31 of the current 120. That was a almost hour long video. Today I want to go over at least one of the independent leagues, that being the Frontier League. Now, full disclaimer, there are a lot of teams in this league now. Let's count. There's 18 teams in this league now. I have seen 6 active teams. So it's not a full, I don't know what you call it, expert type video. I've only been to 6 of them, but I just wanted to make a video, just my personal experience of a something unique about each of these 6 stadiums that I've been to that are currently active. And as you can see, the number one here is the New Jersey Jackals. There are 2 conferences, 4 divisions. We're starting in the Atlantic Conference and we're starting in the East Division, which has the New Jersey Jackals, New York Boulders, Sussex County Miners, and Down East Bird Dogs. I've been to 3 of 4, have not been to Down East. So, alphabetical order, we do start with N, which is New Jersey. And obviously they play in Hinchcliffe Stadium. It's a historic stadium that opened in 1932. Has held a lot of historic things. Jackie Robinson played there. They held auto racing, midget racing to be specific. To this day, they do a lot of football in the fall. It's definitely not going to happen this year, but if the Jackals were to somehow get into the playoffs, they would have to play at Skylands because Hinchcliffe is needed for high school football as soon as the season ends for baseball. I wouldn't be surprised. They have their last home game this Thursday on August 28th. I think this video is probably going to release after that, but anyway, they have their last home game on August 28th, which is a Thursday. Week 0 for high school football in New Jersey is that same weekend. I would not be surprised if the second that the final out is made, you see crews going out there painting football lines, covering the infield with the artificial turf, all of that. So obviously my unique feature is just the stadium itself. It's so historical. You walk in it and yeah, they've repainted it when they reopened it because they really had to, but it's still obvious how old it is, and it's just very, very unique in that way. You don't get too many active stadiums that were built in the 1930s. And there's some places where you have railings in front of you, though that's obviously very old. The architecture on the outside, the box office window is very old school. So yeah, it just the stadium itself is really great. All right, so now we're moving on to the New York Boulders, formerly the Rockland Boulders. I've been here a number of times as well. It is one of the best independent league stadiums. It was built almost like it could be a current affiliated stadium. It's that good. And it was actually built for the Boulders. It wasn't one that was built for another team at any point. This was built in 2011 for the Boulders. To me, what's always stood out, there's a few unique things. There is the bar that's field level out there in left field, and I've been down there. It's really different view, really cool view there. You also just have the giant fence in center field and that's where it kind of opens to allow everyone to get on and off the field, any grounds crew vehicles, stuff like that. But what I think is the most unique about this stadium is the building in center field, which I don't actually know what they use it for anymore. It was abandoned for a while. I think they are using it again, but it used to be the radio station for, I forget the call letters, but 1500 AM I believe it was. And it was just sitting there for a while, even years after they stopped broadcasting. The sign was still up. They took it down finally. The building's still there. Like I said, I think they have started using it at least minimum for storage or something. But that's just unique to kind of be walking out there in center field, and attached to the stadium is this old radio station essentially. So all right, this last one in the Atlantic Conference East Division is going to be the Sussex County Miners. Like I said, I have never been to Down East, so I can't say anything about that. But Sussex County, I've been to plenty of times. Most unique thing is the atmosphere. If you're unfamiliar with New Jersey, the Northwest corner is unlike what you stereotypically think of when you think of New Jersey. Sussex County is very much a lot of farmland and hills, and the stadium reflects that. It was built in a cornfield, basically, and if you look around on Google Maps, there's still a lot of corn surrounding it immediately. It's right near the state fairgrounds as well. And the whole atmosphere when you're in the stadium is like barns, like the clubhouse looks like a giant barn. Uh, Even the main covering above the main set of stands is like, this metal roof that just reminds you of like agriculture, barn stuff like that. Another unique feature is the restaurant that's attached to it. There's always been a restaurant. I think they're on like their third one now since they reopened in 2015. But yeah, it's like the third restaurant to go in there. But there is a full time restaurant that is attached to the stadium as well that you can access from the outside. They have outdoor seating. It's kind of awkward when you're walking to the stadium. You just walk past people having dinner right before the game. But yeah, so that's very unique, especially for an independent league stadium. That's very unique to have that sort of deal there. All right, the Atlantic Conference North Division consists of Quebec, Tri-City, Ottawa, Brockton, and Trois-Rivières. None of those I've been to. So we are moving on to the Midwest Conference, the Central Division, which includes Lake Erie, Washington, Florence, and Evansville. And alphabetical order, we're starting off with Evansville. I've been to three of these, them being, of course, Evansville, Florence, and Washington. And Lake Erie is the other one that I have not been to. That sort of area of the country, that Northwest Ohio, just always seems to be elusive for me. There's never a time where I'm just happen to be driving through there for any reason. But Evansville, it's kind of similar to Hinchcliffe in New Jersey. It's old stadium, oldest one I've probably ever been to. 1915, I believe, is when it had its first season. It was used in the movie League of Their Own, famously. It has $5 general admission, which is like the whole upper area of seating, so you can in theory still sit like behind home plate and it'd only be $5. That's what I did last year when I went. Yeah, it's just a old historic stadium. You do have those poles you have to worry about. So be careful where you sit, even though, like I said, most of it is general admission. You do have to be careful that there's not a pole blocking something important. And the seating bowl is pretty much a perfect half circle as well, which is very unique and cool. All the concourses, most of it is actually outside of the stadium because there's not really a concourse in the stadium. What little there is basically like a breezeway, I guess you could say, and there's three of them, one right behind home plate and then two off to the baselines. The center one, probably is the biggest one. It has like the bathrooms and the team store, which still isn't too big, but then the breezeways on the baselines are, just concessions basically. I think they probably have bathrooms over there too, but yeah, it's not very big, but old historical. Evansville is still one of my favorites. All right, up next is the Florence Yalls. Obviously, the branding of the team is probably one of the most unique you'll find, but we're going with stadiums here. As far as the stadium, Thomas More Stadium, there's not a ton that I would say is unique. If I were to pick something, it'd probably be the color scheme they chose for the seats. It just looks straight out of the 70s. There's a lot of bright yellows. Was there oranges maybe? Again, this is all from memory that I'm doing this. I'm trying not to use the Google machine at all. So this is all based off memory of just last year, but still over a year ago. Yeah, just the color scheme. Probably if I had to choose a unique feature, probably just the color scheme. It's not an old stadium. It's built in the early 2000s, but the color scheme looks like the Astrodome or something like that, or one of the old donut stadiums. All right, we're on to the Washington Wild Things. And this is the last one, by the way. I will just say this right now. There is a West Division made up of Schaumburg, Gateway, Mississippi, Joliet, and Windy City. Have not been to a single one. So therefore, Washington here in the Central Division is our final one. Honestly, there's not too much unique. This is another one I was at last year. Enjoyed my time, but it's just there wasn't a whole lot to talk about in terms of uniqueness of the stadium. I think the way to get there is one of the most unique. You get off the highway or whatever, interstate. I don't remember. Yeah, because it's like 70, right? 76. It's a major interstate that goes right by the front of the stadium, which is unique. But the way you actually get there, is you take an exit, feels like a mile down the road, maybe it's a little bit closer, but then you're kind of just taking these back roads through like shopping areas, shopping plazas to get to the stadium, and then you have to, drive around in front of the stadium, which is this small access road basically in between the stadium itself and the interstate, and then all the parking's like in the outfield, and that's also where the gate is. Like I said, it's not the most unique, but it's the one thing I can think of here. Just getting there is kind of an adventure. And granted, I've been there once, so maybe if I've been there more, my opinion of that would be different. But from the one time I was there, it was an adventure just finding the parking lot through all the shopping plazas and everything. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's it. It's a shorter video, just doing Frontier League. I plan on doing the Atlantic League. The reason why I didn't include it in this and just make it an independent league video is because I am planning a trip to an Atlantic League stadium this year still that I've not been to. So I wanted to hold off on that league until I do that, because it wouldn't make any sense to make that video be like, oh, I've never been to this place, and then go to it like a week later. So anyway, that is it for me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.